You're watching the Tesla live with your host, Mark Hudlin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 355. Here we are on the 17th of April, 2024, and we're all still alive. Double thumbs up.
Yeah, the world didn't end at the eclipse or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all happy for that, for sure. But joining me, as per usual, we have our co-host for this evening, Mr. Casey Green, joining us from the Mid-Atlantic. How are you today, sir?
Doing pretty well. So after our last show, 5 minutes to midnight, not the name of the show, but the time of day, I found out that legacy cars can still be at the bleeding edge of a software rollout. And I got FSD version 12.3.4.
Wow!
1, 2, 3, 4. On my car.
It actually arrived for your car. Fantastic.
Yeah. Nice.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is fine. And then I started seeing all the people whining they didn't get it yet. I'm like, what the heck? I haven't been out front in like 3 years.
The tides have changed for Casey.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. Yeah, because 4 weeks from now, who knows what'll be happening.
Oh, I've got some welcome to the Legacy Club for some folks in a little bit of the show.
Cool.
Also with us, as per usual, Mr. Patrick Connor from the left coast. How are you today, sir?
I am good. Hello, Tesla Nation. I want to give a shout out right now to Brian in the chat and for the cool stuff that he's been posting for the OEVA on his X profile there. So yeah, check Brian Futuraza. Check him out.
Very good. Very good. Yes, hello, Brian. So with that said, we got a bunch of news to handle this week. No surprise there. Happens every week. Let's start with an easy one. We've got a bunch of cars showing up on the shores of Chile, South America. We heard about this a couple of weeks ago when Tesla was, actually it was a couple of months ago when they started to test the Chilean market. And then they opened up a couple of locations. One location was a permanent one. The other one was like at a mall, like a expandable, not permanent showroom.
Yeah,
pop-up, exactly.
Yeah.
And they started to take orders, and now those orders are starting to be fulfilled because a car carrier arrived and started to drop off a number of vehicles. There was a photo that was supplied, and actually we can probably share that photo that was given to us. Of course, if you're not following us already throughout the week, you can do that on our Twitter feed at the Tesla Life. And here is the photo. I found it. And we'll just share that. Oh, dogs are loose.
Yep. I'm going to close the window. Hold on.
So there we are at the port of Chile, where it's dropping off. Got to say that in each row, there's got to be a dozen or more cars in each row. So that's at least 60 cars or so from just this photo. Who knows how many there actually were? But you can definitely see in the photo that these are the new Model 3. So the refresh is arriving in Chile.
Everything a declining population needs.
Exactly. So that's good to see. And of course, this is a brand new market. I don't believe there are any logged in superchargers yet in that area of the country, because I have not seen anything appear on supercharge.info to this point. But I got to believe that with a store and now deliveries, that they're going to be installing a supercharger network down there as well. So we'll have to keep our eye out on the update on supercharge.info if you're interested in following yourself.
Yeah, I would have to say that I think that China does build for here because it's kind of a straight shot and you don't have to do all the surfing the continent. or the two continents, I suppose.
Does Chile reach both sides, the Atlantic and the Pacific, or is it just Pacific?
At the bottom, it might.
Yeah, but that's not real. It's. I'm surprised. I don't know where they're coming from, but Austin is a lot closer.
Yeah, Austin's closer if you can get it from the Atlantic side, but that's other than Texas, we don't really have anything on the Atlantic for Tesla,
right? Or even Fremont. Just
I mean, I guess
you're right. They're on both sides, right? Fremont and Austin, both sides, but no Model 3s yet, as Brian points out in Austin, although we've seen a few loitering around the parking lot. So we're thinking that's coming, but it's not quite there.
Yep.
But so next story, let's move along to the main story of last week. And that, of course, is Patrick is going to tell us a little bit about what has happened when it comes to a certain software program that Tesla likes to promote.
That's right. So I hope you all are enjoying your free month of FSD. And if you're liking it and you haven't subscribed or don't own it already, well, this is your chance because Tesla has slashed the price in half. That's right. It's gone from $99 a month to just it's gone from $199 a month to just $99 a month. And if you're in Canada, like that guy, then it's $99 Canadian, which is only about $75 US. The purchase price is still $12,000, so that hasn't changed. And these prices are not likely to stay where they're at. This $99 special looks like it's to get people enticed that have tried it for this last free month and to sign up for it on a more regular basis. And of course, we don't know what the future prices are going to be. We were told they were only going to go up, and now here they are going up and down. And it's like everything. Tesla does dynamic pricing. They look at the take rates and everything and make decisions on the fly. If you want to get off of that pricing roller coaster, just buy it. And then you don't have to worry about what the price is. It's like gas stations. If you have an EV, I don't know what they do. I don't know what their prices are. I don't care if it's gone up or down.
It's changed, obviously, but is that high? One item of note: you used to get a discount for having enhanced autopilot package purchased, and then your subscription will be half price. Right now, but that's not giving you anything useful. You're still paying $99 US for having an enhanced autopilot and subscribing to FSD.
That makes sense. Yeah, they can't give discounts on top of discounts.
I thought you were going to tell us, Patrick, it had dropped from 99 to 49. I was going to go, holy moly.
I'm sorry. I did set that up wrong.
Because, of course, we know that $49 Canadian, that's like, what, $1.25 US?
Starbucks right there. So, I think it's a good gesture. A few people have enhanced autopilot to just continue giving them half of whatever the current price is.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting because if you get a number of people that take this rate and start to run with it, of course the rate can change anytime Tesla wants to change it. Really, right?
Yes,
like this could be a 2-month trial. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? But I would have to think that if Tesla is going to raise the rate again, they'd have to do it in conjunction with it getting better. Or getting to the point where it's more autonomous than it's not, because I think a lot of people would just start to drop off if they were on the $99 package. It just started to raise arbitrarily, just to see if they could get back to the $199 after a year or half a year or whatever the time period is. I think it's going to have to be linked with successes in its autonomy.
That makes sense.
But like at $99, you're going to have so many more people subscribed than you will at $200.
Yeah. And that's something that obviously, again, as Patrick mentioned, they're looking at the take rate all the time. And they're trying to judge, okay, we've made a huge commitment dollar-wise, putting this package at the forefront. And we have to show it off to more people than are actually taking it today. Because if we don't, it's not going to be successful as quickly as we hoped it would be. We need to introduce it to more people. And yeah, we may have to lower the price and kind of eat our own words based on us saying that it would just keep appreciating. But it's something that they're going to want to do in order to entice the most amount of people they possibly could.
Right.
I don't think they have to eat their own words. The person who said it is known for just saying stuff.
2 weeks. Yeah, there's all sorts of that stuff that comes out of that guy's mouth. Yeah,
the future is hard to predict, even if you're the one inventing it.
We make the impossible merely late. So I think at this point now, what they need to do is every new purchase or transfer of a vehicle, they need to just give you a month of FSD, same way that the satellite radio gave you a month when you bought the car, except for on Tesla vehicles, amazingly. Everybody else did it, but not Tesla. And they do now, but they didn't at the time. Do they have any left with XM?
Yeah, I like that idea. If when you buy a new Tesla, if it came with like 3 months of free FSD and 3 months of free supercharging as part of your purchase, just to get you out there getting used to both of those things.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and then also every time they do a major upgrade, so if they hit 12.5 or 13, I guess they might skip it to 14, whatever. At that time, give everybody who isn't yet a taker, give them another month.
Now, another thing you mentioned, Casey, is transfers.
Yes.
Actually, transfers was one of our main stories last week.
Oh, I was talking like ownership transfers, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Definitely also transfers.
So when it comes to transfers that are related to FSD, that program was a quickly over one. It was announced last week, and then like 4 days later, it's gone. So
that has Elon's fingerprints all over it. There's another thing. I don't know if we had the story on that one about the prices of the cars themselves.
No,
I don't think that one. Okay, so all the cars in the inventory had various discounts on them, and those are all gone too. So everything's at full price now. And like I said, that has Elon's mitts on it. His reasoning on Twitter was, "Oh yeah, it's complicated. We're changing stuff." The reason I say it's him is because lots of his companies have this habit of moving before they're ready to move, and so we're having trouble moving cars. Let's raise the prices before whatever the new program is ready.
Burn the ships, and then you have no choice but to go forward. We're not on shore yet, sir. Light it up anyway.
That will get us to shore faster.
You don't burn the ships like you're on the way to shore.
You'd like to be within walking distance of the shore before that whole ship lights up.
We have cameras, and we can use them instead of wiper sensors. Yeah. 5 years later, it's almost okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yes, indeed. You are speaking the truth on many levels. But that's FSD news. Obviously, you know, when it comes to this, as Patrick had mentioned about them watching the numbers all the time, this is a big thing. Like, not only are they watching the numbers of, you know, how many people are purchasing vehicles and how many are sold each and every day, if not week and month, but they're definitely poring over the numbers of people that opt into different packages that are for sale on the app. Or how many people would buy FSD out of the gate, or a month later after the free trial, what the conversion rate is, like all that kind of stuff. They've got to be watching like a hawk. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, I like Future S's suggestion of 500 miles of free charging, although I had read it as 500 miles of free FSD, and I was like, how's that going to work? Is it going to give you the red hands in the middle of your drive?
Take over, because your free trial is done.
Yeah, 500 miles might be 500 miles of free supercharging might be better than 3 months, because within that 3 months, some people would abuse it horribly and just be taking spots. Then, okay, you could be at home charging, but it's free here. People get irrational with the word free.
Because you have these doctors and lawyers and pilots that were only charging it at superchargers instead of at home.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Cuber, who's in the comments as well, has indicated that Chile uses 50 hertz at 220 volts. But of course, superchargers are going to go beyond that. They will be, superchargers put in place. They're pulling a lot more voltage to each of those units. But that's probably
deciding what factory it came from, though.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, you can drive an electric car even if there isn't a supercharger.
That's true. That's true. I've done it.
Are flexible in their input. Like they just have one charger worldwide, because even when they stopped the high output charger that's in my car, they still kept making it because they needed it for the 3-phase, like in Norway and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's going to be something to keep our eye on. Again, Tesla's really fluid when it comes to FSD transfers. Like I said, it only lasted 3 or 3.5 days.
I hope that comes back when they get the new system up, because I might try and get one if this quarter, if they let me.
Well, actually, as we spoke about last week, right, Patrick? We said, you know what? With Tesla's track record, depending on what sales are like, this offer could pop up at any point in the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
5 days before the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
Right. That's the most likely period, end of quarter push. But we can't.
It's fast.
It only was there for a few days. I mean, we can't all just get the finance together like that. And
cash in your account, just ready to go, just drop on a car.
Even that, you have to get a cashier's check or something.
Right.
I mean, so it's not like you can just walk in and write a check and walk out with a car.
Right. Oh, why is there a bank run? Oh, Tesla's got another 3-day sale. I think that's the ending thing.
Everyone's withdrawing at the same time. Exactly. Oh, man. Crazy. Well, let's move on to the next story. And this one takes us in the same area. This is in Anaheim, California. And, of course, we like to report on this because it's kind of cool to see. We've got the Anaheim Police Department have decided that they're going to run a trial on some Model Ys in the fleet. So they had them out on display in the, I thought this was the beach, but it's definitely not the beach. This is in the mountains. Because I was going, isn't Anaheim landlocked a little bit? And it is. It's close to the water, obviously, but I think their district is just outside the water. So they've got these couple of Model Ys posed in a, looks like a nature area, showing them off. That 2 of them are now in the fleet, and they're going to be checking not the reliability, but they're going to be watching the numbers. The bean counters are going to be after how much these units actually they spend in maintenance and fuel compared to the other vehicles that they currently have in the fleet.
Yeah, as promised on Sunday, here it is. So they posted this to their Facebook and immediately got clowned by a bunch of loud, ignorant people.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some of the responses that they made, but I imagine that it just goes on and on, like those people typically do, as if they were personally had stakes in oil. And they might, but there's too many of them for that to actually be the case.
Yeah, there's a lot of, idiots on the internet? Really? I've never heard of this. People with opinions, and they're wrong? What? Someone's wrong on the internet?
The wrong they are, the louder they get.
Yeah,
exactly. The story about I guess it was about a month and a half ago about a mayor out in it was the East Coast somewhere, and he was posting his findings about the Model Y patrol car that they had in the fleet, and he had to put down in the postings that this is something that we've done as a trial. And here are the years amount of maintenance compared to the years amount of maintenance of a regular patrol car. And we saved X amount of thousands of dollars over that period of time. And he had to write several times in the letter that this is not fiction. This is the real numbers that we've collected from the police department over the use of this vehicle for that period of time.
Right. Here's a list of facts, and people are still going to argue with him.
And they're still arguing. Yep.
This is not my opinion. These are
that
just
car will never run in the winter. And it's like, I've already said, we've gone through a
full year of data.
These are the real numbers. And yet you still get responses like, those cars are only good for in town. You can't drive out town with those things.
Every time I
they
see
catch on fire every other week.
Yeah, every time I see it, it reminds me of like whenever I'm on a long multi-thousand-mile trip. One of my sisters will be like, "Yeah, you can't do trips in that." I'm like, "Did I just snap my fingers and appear here? Man, I found a new way to travel."
Yeah, absolutely. You called that right. You're just in a time warp. You show up in different places. Here's a little bit of a PSA that I just wanted to talk about, and I know I think we've touched on this previously in the past, but Inside EV posted this recently about talking about FSD and how people really need to, pay attention. So
Supervised.
They posted this picture of the vehicle with a bunch of people indicating that some of them tend to kiss the curbs, rub up against the curb, and they provide a bunch of specific people with photos showing what happened to their curb rashed rims because the vehicle was on FSD, and I would have to say they weren't really paying attention. We've got a bunch of people that are just letting, oh, look, the wheel's turning on its own. Everything must be fine. So I'll just let it go. But there are issues still out there.
There's no way it can make this angle, but it's got to fix itself.
Exactly. So I just wanted to put out a PSA. If you've got one of those free trials and you're trying it out, just keep in mind that it is not perfect yet. There are issues that pop up from time to time. I'm not saying all of them do this. I'm saying some of them do, but you have to be responsible for your own vehicle and the situation you're in. For goodness sakes, grab the wheel, and if you want, enter an error report as to why you had to take over control, because it was getting too close to a curb for your comfort level. And that's going to help everybody, because you know what? Certainly there are different people with different comfort levels, but I would have to say that we would all benefit a little bit more if the vehicle provided a little bit more space, a little bit more safety margin, that we wouldn't be too concerned about that higher curb that's at a certain intersection or is angled improperly, and you're not confident the car is going to make the corner properly. So if it makes a little bit of a wider arc, that's a good thing for everybody, not just you.
Yeah, so that doesn't just go for people on the free trial. If you were on one of the previous versions, 11.4. whatever, or you're one of the lucky few who has a MCU1 car and is coming from some version of FSD, and you get this new version 12, aside from being super lucky, this car is going to behave differently than what you previously experienced, and dramatically differently if you were one of the handful of extra legacy folks that gets the upgrade.
Yeah,
I don't know if there are any yet, but if they got me, then you might be next.
Brian actually mentioned in the comments that the new name is Supervised. So do your job, be a supervisor. Check up on it, keep track of that. And Derek, if you've got version 2.5, you're right. It's not compatible with your vehicle. You got to be version 3 as a minimum to get FSD.
But you can upgrade to 3 for a fee.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, for a fee. Yeah, a few $1,000s. Yeah,
I think $1,500 in the US. I think.
Well, the US price has stayed the same, but the Canadian price has gone up. Initial 500 loonies. You can get it done in your driveway for most service centers with the mobile service, but some of them do require you go into the service center to get it done.
And if you buy FSD outright, then that's included.
Well, free. So if you were planning on doing it, and you're like, well, what's the difference? And you were like, yeah, I get a little extra back on my taxes. I can afford to just buy it outright. Then you don't have to budget in the price of the computer plus the monthly fee, because all of that's included in one fee.
Yeah.
Right. I lucked out because I bought it with the 3, got the computer upgrade. Then I transferred it to the Y. So now I get it I have it the hardware in both. So when the free trial came, I got it in my L3. Yeah, so that worked out. That I didn't realize that got me a free computer upgrade unintentionally. Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but it still doesn't do very well in a parking lot. And
mine previously did well, even on this version. And then yesterday we went out for a quick little errand, and I told it to go, and it decided it would go straight. Problem was there was a car straight, so I had to take over and tell it where it needed to go to exit the parking lot.
Right. The city streets, it's always been great on freeways. Now city streets with 12 are a lot better, but I still am not happy with the parking lot performance. And that's so I don't even let it drive in there anymore just because it has.
What are you experiencing, Patrick, just for us to know?
Things like going toward curbs, going towards other cars, and intersections aren't well marked always. And not even seeing the parking spots sometimes. And so if I drive myself, it somehow like sees the parking spot easier. And I don't normally let it park itself because it's been too slow in the past. So now with 12, I decided to try it, and it's much better. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it only seems to see them if I'm driving, not if it's doing FSD, which I don't understand.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Also, the way that it moves in parking lots that are not perfect, it's just like the wheel is twitching and it's moving.
Yes.
Half speed.
Yes. So yeah, it's less confidence, less human.
You guys have parking lots that aren't perfectly painted, really?
Canadian doesn't.
Half the year they're covered in snow, Casey. We got no lines.
So then it drives fine. It probably the lines aren't there to confuse it.
So one thing I've noticed with mine is that it offsets in the lane, so it hovers to the right a little bit too much. And on our not the first, one of our first drives with it, we ended up driving through a swamp, and it was on a proper road and through the swamp, not like I let it go like these people with the curbings, and it was riding so far to the right of the lane that you get the white fog line on what would be the shoulder if there were if it wasn't swamped, and it was riding so far that I was hitting the rumble strips and it would wake up, and so I'd take over and fix it, and then I'd go right back, take over, fix it, and then I found that since I have the yoke, I could just put my palm on top of the left nubbin and just put enough pressure to the point where it almost turns off, and that was enough to encourage it to stay in the middle of the lane. But that I couldn't do that for hundreds of miles.
No way. Well, let's move on. Patrick's got our next story, and it's about some employees and what has happened just recently.
Right. So this is about one particular employee, because there were actions with many more employees, 14,000 or so, but this is about one of them. Drew Baglino, Senior Vice President of Powertrain and Engineering, has announced that he's departing from Tesla. And he's been at the company for 18 years. It's not clear if his departure is related to the recent actions on headcount reduction, or if he's just taking this reshuffling time to say this is a good time to step away. So working at Tesla is demanding. Being there for 18 years is like 50 years at anywhere else. So I don't blame the guy. He said he has no immediate plans to start somewhere else because, of course, that's the first thing I'm thinking is where's he going to go? What's he going to do next? And he said he's just going to spend time with his family, but he's not the kind of person that can sit still for long. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear from him a few months from now that he's doing something interesting. And this guy has exactly the skill sets that so many companies need right now. So he will have no shortage of suitors coming to him. When he posted this on X, Musk gave a friendly reply and said, "Thanks for everything you've done for Tesla. Few have contributed as much as you." So thank you, Drew, and goodbye. Hopefully we'll see you again doing something cool.
Yeah, it's Drew's been there an awfully long time. So all the way back to 2006. So that is, like you said, that's a lifetime at Tesla for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Another executive departure they had the same day was 8 years veteran of their VP of counsel and drawing a blank now all of a sudden. But Elon also thanked him, and I'm wondering if they, if it was 10% across the board, because Tesla has done this in the past, where they just randomly fire people who are needed. Same with the Twitter fiasco, where they had to bring people back because whoops, there's no duplicate of that person. And the other possibility that came up that also held water was that aside from that hey, they've been there a long time, not everybody can do 80 hours a week. Was that if they weren't part of the 10%, they might have self-sacrificed for, hey, if I go, then you could keep 8 of my guys on instead of letting them go or whatever. So,
yeah. So the notices went out to regular Tesla employees. We're not sure as to how many actually got the letter, but they believe it's somewhere in the 10 or 12% area. They're not quite sure, but
some of them got it after they started their commute, so they got there and their badge didn't work.
That's a tough way to find out.
Great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's again, Tesla did this about 2 years ago.
I've done it every year since before I got my car. So
okay.
This is 6 that I'm aware of.
I didn't think they did it last year, 12 months ago.
I think last year or 22, one of the years was just executives.
Okay. That's what it was then, because I remember that they skipped a year. So
is this Jack Welch? Because it seems that Elon seems to believe that he comes into a place. Let's cut the head count. It's going to be great. No problems will arise with this.
Well, you're always going to have issues with a head count cut because you don't really know across all departments if people are understanding what everybody's doing. And if you get, like you said, with the Twitter, you get rid of a couple of people that really had no backup. It was just them. Then
right. And then the whole
you've got to readjust.
10%. Like Microsoft tried it and finally stopped. GE, Mr. Welch, he started it, and it just seems like I don't know. That's the kind of circle that somebody might think that's a good idea, and he kept it up.
Yeah.
So I was asking.
So, but again, we've also had quite a bit of hiring happen between the last cut and this cut.
Yes.
So
also, not all, but most of the job openings in North America are gone on their website.
Yeah, right. They've removed a lot of them.
Yeah, that didn't.
Which makes sense. If you're reducing headcount, you wouldn't want to have hiring going at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the last times they did this, they didn't take the offerings down. They may have shifted what was still there, but like this one, like almost everything was gone.
Yeah. Well, we will see as it moves along. Of course, this is not something brand new to Tesla or any other company for that matter.
There's a lot of doing it right now.
Yeah,
not just Tesla. Brian's got a number for. Oh man, my mouse keeps jumping. I was trying to put it on the screen so we can see it.
Yeah, go ahead and share that because it looks like there weren't cuts in 2023, but in a lot of other years.
A lot of other years.
Yeah. And speaking of numbers, we've got our next photo that we're going to share here. And this is, I believe it's Giga Texas. Let's just grab this.
I keep forgetting the term stack rig.
Photo.
Fight peasants!
Here we've got
I wonder what color was in the paint shop that day.
Yeah. That doesn't look as dark as normal, does it? It's this, of course, looks like the Quicksilver, and we've got a whole mass of them. Looks like they're testing out Quicksilver for the first time at Giga Texas.
Very cool.
So, awesome. Yeah, everybody's been waiting for another color. It'd be really nice to get a silver back, and it looks like, although it's not on the website yet.
Keep large gorillas out of your car.
A silverback.
So we believe that this is maybe the first run or two that they're trying it out, and we'll have to see if we get it on the menu item on the website soon as an option in paint colors.
There's a good car name for you if you get one of these, the silverback.
Oh yeah. You don't even be more if they're going to Europe. We can make them, but you can't have them.
So what do we got next here? After the Quicksilver, we've got a story about Tesla teasing the software update. Now, this is interesting because last time I checked, we're not near Christmas. But Tesla has been teasing us lately with a future software update that's going to include a number of enhancements. So this is something that is a little bit outside of the scope that they usually do this, but I don't know if it's because they required it or for something else, or if this is just a shift from the normal, big update near Christmas. Because in this update that they've been teasing us, there's a new Sentry Mode clips that can be shown on your phone. They're bringing in an auto shift, of course, with the vehicles that are missing the stocks. There's going to be an auto shift beta where it's going to guess which way it believes it thinks you're going to go. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but that's an interesting way to do it. Obviously, it's going to look for walls around you, and based on if you're nosed in and there's a wall in front of you, obviously you want to put it in reverse when you engage the vehicle. But this is going to be interesting. I don't know what it's going to do in a parking lot. For example, if you're in a spot and there's nobody in front of you, I guess that's a forward, because most people would forward out of that because there's no one in front of you.
So that one has been pretty well baked, but what's new with this one is, say you're doing a K-turn, it will do the shifting for you, supposedly.
Okay.
That's what's new about it. That and bringing us to the other cars with no gear shifters.
Right.
Because it was previously Model S and X only.
Yeah, now it's in the 3.
Yes.
So I had experience to test one of those out. I was able to take out a new Model 3, and man, the shifting is interesting when you've been used to a stock for your entire life. Just a little bit different, but it works. It's just whether or not you're gonna. Everybody thought that the speedometer to the right and up high was going to be really strange. That didn't take too long for me to get over. That's where I was looking for speed, and now, of course, after 6 years, there's no issue at all. In fact, I don't think there was an issue after 2 weeks. It's just something. So maybe the shifting like that is going to make sense that way. I'm not sure, but another bit of information from that was, they're putting an over-the-air update in the software release that's going to help with regen when you're at higher speeds. So apparently regen was not as efficient as it could be. And what is cool with all these over-the-air updates is they're able to model it and test it. Mm-hmm. And then once they've got it dialed in, they just send an update. And all of a sudden your car is responding in the same way. Like that's incredible. Just like we heard when the Model 3 was first released and they got a little bit of flack about the braking speed or the amount of distance it took to do a full-on brake if you were going over 60 miles an hour. They sent an update and it adjusted it so that the calipers were gripping better, and it reduced the stopping distance when the brakes were
retested for the safety tests. Because this is the one with the stronger regen is just for Model S, new Model S.
Okay.
Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping I'd get better range on my road trips.
There's a lot of caveats on almost every item, so this is fun. Let's keep going.
We have some funny chat going on over here. If you guys are joining us live, you should. It's cool.
Go ahead, Casey. Rhyme off a couple.
I had already pulled up something else to share.
Okay. All right. So
there was one.
Go ahead, Patrick.
There was one in here that I hadn't heard of before, and they said it was in the previous release, where they said there was a one-time charge limit feature. and
Oh yeah.
to use for road trips. Yeah. So how do you do that? I mean, I just been going in the app and changing the slider, but I didn't know it was how do you do a one time?
I think I haven't seen it in action, but I think when you change it, they'll ask you, "Do you want to just do this once?"
Huh. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't have the latest version. I don't know if that would be in the app or in the vehicle, but I haven't seen it yet, and I hope I get that one soon because
this whole thing hasn't happened yet, right? Like we're waiting for this spring update. Apparently, is what they're calling it. So they're not there.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, this was one they said was in the previous update. But which was supposedly started rolling out in March.
But how many people actually got it is the next one.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and if it rolled out in the iPhone app first and Android is usually a month behind that, I wouldn't have it yet.
I think it might have been like maybe 16 employees or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. So all right. So yeah, there's one that's coming that I think would be useful because normally I leave it down at like 65, and I know they say 80 or whatever, but I don't need it that high because it's just roundabout going to grocery getter most of the time. So then when I am going to do a road trip, I jack it up to 80 or 90 or 95 depending on where I'm going, and I don't want to forget and leave it there if I don't need it.
Yeah, a few times. Oh man, I gotta go take.
I'm at 100. I gotta go drive around the block with the heater on.
Can you run the heater and the AC just to burn
just to burn more energy? Yeah. Right. Can my lights get brighter?
Can I turn off regen? I just
all sorts of ways. Exactly. Next, Casey's got a story for us.
Hold on. I thought you were going to do some more of the stuff. So
can't spend all night on it, man. Like it's 7:42 already.
Hang on one second. Let me get this graphic here.
It's only 4:42 here. We have lots of time, Mark.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the time difference, we got lots of time. What am I thinking of? Silly me.
Because there's on like every item on the upgrade list. Like some stuff was Model S only, some stuff was Model Highland only, some stuff was like just the AMD chips. So I said, "Welcome to Legacy." Because there were some folks whining about why can't I upgrade my chip? But they won't let you do it.
Nope, they will not.
Oh, so building on the same update, Cybertruck got its own updates. They get all that plus they've increased the turning rate of the rear wheels, and so you can now make a 1.5 foot tighter turning circle. 100 people or so will need to get a retrofitted steering linkage for the rear. Everybody else will get what they need through software, and the power share is finally turned on, so you can now take power from the charge port back into your home if you have the appropriate equipment on the other side of that connection. So if you have a power wall or more, or if you have the appropriate gateway or meter disconnect device from Tesla.
Cool.
And another cool little feature, I think we mentioned it before, is going to be included in this as well, will be the trailer alarm.
Oh yeah, the trailer alarm and cabin overheat protection.
Casey, what does the trailer alarm do? How does it know what's going on with the trailer alarm?
So if somebody unplugged your trailer, the car will go apeshit.
Danger.
Yeah, draw attention to what's going on over there, because people don't normally listen to car alarms, but you saw something in the corner of your eye, looked a little shady, somebody's messing with the trailer, and all of a sudden the truck is going ballistic. Oh, maybe they shouldn't be there.
Yeah. And of course, if you're stealing a trailer, you have to unplug the wiring connection that's hooked to the lights and the brakes and everything else. So that's going to be a telltale sign that someone who does not have access to turn that off is taking your trailer. So,
and then like you say, oh, well, if they cut it, well, that still disconnects the connection. So
right.
So that is where we are with that. So yeah, Cybertruck is going to be getting some updates. Interesting that about 100 vehicles are going to have a linkage replaced in order to get the more tighter turn ratio. So obviously the parts in those early Cybertrucks, maybe they didn't have one that could extend fully. Maybe they were testing it out. Maybe they didn't think they'd go beyond 5%. Who knows?
Yeah. So with that one, it's a bulletin. So the next time your truck is in for any service, they'll do it for free. But since it's also a bulletin, you can schedule to have it done if you want. I think this one might be service only. When I was looking at the teardown from Monroe, it looks like it'd be a bear for a mobile tech to get at. But let Tesla decide, and then you make the truck available.
Yeah. And just a side story that's kind of connected to this is Tesla commented about crabwalk recently.
Oh, they did? I didn't see that.
Yeah. They had an engineer had asked, is crabwalk even necessary? Is there any use case for it really? Because Tesla did test the Cybertruck with crabwalk. We had seen it on the proving grounds in Texas. They were actually going a little bit sideways doing the test. And there was all sorts of speculation that, crabwalk was going to be coming to the Cybertruck, but of course it didn't. And this engineer had indicated that, you know what, there's no real reason to have crabwalk because the car has to be running at a slow speed, like we're talking like 1.5 miles per hour in order not to damage anything. And GMC, who has it, they're showing theirs in a uphill climb type thing where it's crawling on rocks, and it's moving out of a tight spot area, and it's like realistically that is never going to happen. Like, yes, you can make a scenario like that. You can put a truck beside some rocks, and the only way it's getting out is by going into the crabwalk. But you know what? You're probably not getting in there anyways.
Right, because with crabwalk, you're going sideways. The car's wider sideways. So you would normally be much better off just driving straight forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the latest GM ad, and I was like, when would you ever use that? And then that was my comment under the ad. Like, one, I don't know when you would ever need this. Two, if it can do it, why not do it? But I don't know when you'd use it other than to show off.
Right, and crabwalk is different from four-wheel steering. With crabwalk, they're both pointing in the same direction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So your car can move at diagonals, like a bishop in chess, for whatever reason.
Yeah. So for tight turns, having four-wheel steering makes sense. But that's a whole different feature.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So my comment was like, it can do it. So I say, why not allow it to do that? But I don't see the point in working at making it go in diagonals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the drone army, which of course we know are everywhere, never stops.
Squad.
And we've got this photo that's coming from a port in Shanghai, and we have got a ton of Model 3s. But the difference that was spotted in this is that all of them have the front, rear, and spoiler covered, and wheels covered in protective coating. The drone operator even got down a little closer and was able to see red through the covers on the wheels. So red calipers were visible in some of the cases. So we're thinking that these are performance Model 3s about to be shipped out of the port of Shanghai.
Yeah, and so somebody had commented, they haven't even announced this thing yet. What better time to announce it than when it's about to unload at all the ports so that everybody can have a wide unveil at the same time? Because we saw they had an event either in Texas or California.
It was Malibu.
Or Malibu, sorry. And it was like nothing has become of it yet, but maybe they're waiting for a global launch, and that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also coupled with this, just out today, was that someone caught some code on the UK website that indicates about some stats on the the Model 3 Performance, and indicating 500 horsepower. So there was also a 0 to 60 time, but the time was actually blanked out. And there was a couple other nuggets. So you can check that out on our Twitter feed. But it sounds like, based on the software on the website, and of course these cars that are sitting ready to be put on a ship, we've got to be pretty close to the launch of this vehicle. So not a surprise that we would be getting ready for a launch with this many vehicles about to be shipped out. Maybe they are on their way to Europe / Great Britain. It certainly makes sense as some of the breadcrumbs start to align.
So this is the end of the beginning of the quarter, so they could make it there by the end of the quarter.
Yeah, definitely, because they're not going as far. Well, are they using the Suez Canal still, or are they still going around the bottom of Africa? So that depends. But yeah, get them on the ship, get them rolling. So we should be seeing something about this shortly.
I'm surprised they don't do more like intercontinental trains, like between Asia and Europe.
Yeah, different rail gauges, I know, is one of the problems.
Yeah.
Especially out of China compared to Europe, and Western and Eastern Europe is even different. So it could have some issues. Of course, having the old Soviet wall, everybody built their own stuff the way they wanted it, and Moscow wanted it in one way, and Europeans wanted it in a different way, and there's a bunch of in-betweens. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up this evening. Let's call out some shout-outs and head her home. Patrick, what do you got for us?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association, and it's Earth Month, so come check out our event, and you can find details on at OEVAORG on X, or we're also on Facebook, and I've shared that stuff out there. I've got my new Twitter handle, FFF Fossil Fuels, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels. Thanks, everybody.
Got it. Good. And Casey, what do you got for us?
Well, on Sundays, as I alluded to, you catch us here, or some of us here, at youtube.com at Casey Green. We talk about obviously Tesla, but other stuff as well, like solar panels, greening, rockets, and just whatever's out there for the week. And then we come back here. Also, catch us on Friday for the Tesla Life Express right here on this channel at 7 p.m. on Friday, if I don't make it late.
Fair enough.
No. But you know what happened late yet? The Monday.
And since we've had Brian in the chat room the entire show, shout out to him. And of course, Tesla Michigan is putting on a big meetup June 14th and 15th. I'm sorry, 15th and 16th in of course, Muskegon, Michigan, right on the Lake of Michigan, on the opposite side of where Chicago is. So if you happen to be in the area and would like to come out, and of course you don't need a Tesla, anybody can attend. There's going to be a ton of speakers. Go visit the Michigan Tesla Club's website, and you can check out all the speakers that are going to be there, and the entertainment that will be there, and the food. And we will see you there on Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and 16th of June. And with that, I think we will wrap it. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. It's at the end of the show. You got to pay for something, and putting a thumb on this is a payment enough for us. Give us that thumbs up. Press that subscribe if you haven't already. And we will get together next week and find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
Stay positive. Test negative.
Thanks, Lee Moon.
Thanks, Lee Moon.